Secret societies have existed for 1,000 years,
A hidden world, another dimension.
conducting ancient rituals of power,
Your throat slit, your tongue torn out by its roots.
controlling history from the shadows.
There are demonic forces seeking human enslavement.
Most believe they vanished long ago.
It's just the height of denial.
But do they still exist in our own time?
Boom, he's the president of the United States.
In rituals never before seen on television. The secrets of secret societies are about to be revealed. Some believe that a series of seemingly unconnected events may be evidence of a hidden reality, manipulating governments and impacting our lives from the shadows. Presidential candidates admit on camera to their membership in the same secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
An American presidential candidate mysteriously disappears from the campaign trail. Millions of Americans meet in secret every week, performing rituals. There are true believers who say they have proof of secret society activity in our own era. Skeptics who dismiss such proof as extremism. And insiders who claim to be members of today's secret societies. Where does the truth lie?
We're taking our destiny back! You're not our gods or our masters!
Alex Jones is a popular radio personality and rogue journalist whose belief in the power of secret societies is often labeled as extreme.
Secret societies have always existed, and they're more powerful than ever. Nothing impacts your life every day more than these secret power structures.
Mitch Horowitz is a historian who rejects the idea that secret societies have any power today.
People are right to be concerned today over an absence or a lack of accountability within our government, but they are not going to fix that lack of accountability by looking to organizations like Freemasonry. If a person is really interested in seeking truth, there are many other places to look.
Arthur Goldwag is a journalist who writes frequently about conspiracy theories.
To the conspiracist way of thinking, if an airplane flies into the World Trade Center, clearly somebody either made it happen or let it happen, because that would be an accident of far too great a magnitude. There are no accidents.
Amy Hanlon knows the truth firsthand. She works in state government and writes about government corruption.
There are conspiracies. That's called corruption. But that's different from the notion of a group of powerful individuals sitting in hidden rooms pushing buttons. That simply doesn't happen.
Yet for true believer Alex Jones, this secret power is a proven fact.
We know that there are powerful interests that meet behind closed doors. We know that there are powerful cartels and combines, and they are very hard to deal with, especially when you can't even convince the population that they exist.
Is it possible that they are still active in our society today? James Wasserman is a veteran leader of one of the most controversial and mysterious of all purported secret societies, the Ordo Templi Orientis, an offshoot of Freemasonry.
I've been a member of Ordo Templi Orientis, OTO, for 36 years.
Wasserman says the OTO and all secret societies share one thing in common. They keep their activities hidden from the general public.
Secret societies are ultimately about information. Secrecy is a way of discerning whether someone can be trusted or not trusted. It is a way of discerning who is who.
Jones says no matter what the reason, societies that keep secrets are inherently dangerous.
Anything that's secretive, anything that's fraternal, can easily be turned into a gang or into a mafia. Power tends to combine together with other people that are powerful, and powerful people and institutions tend to try to keep secrets because knowledge is power.
While Horowitz is skeptical about the importance of secret societies today, he says there is no doubt they existed in the past. The first secret societies may have been the priesthoods of ancient religions.
There was initiation, there was rank, there were certain purification ceremonies, rites, rituals. So secrecy, as it was practiced in the ancient world, had a sacred component to it. It was part of religious life.
1,000 years later, a new kind of secret society emerged, a Christian order with a name that would become the stuff of legend, the Knights Templar.
They were separate and apart from all other groups within European Christendom. They had a certain distinctive dress, their initiation rituals. The Knights Templar were in effect the Pope's private army.
Some traditions suggest that the Templars gave birth to an even more mysterious secret society that still exists today, the Fraternal Order of Freemasons.
There is a legitimate mystery over where Freemasonry came from. There's a tradition within the order that Masonry has its earliest beginnings among the builders of Solomon's Temple. There's another theory which holds simply that Freemasonry grew out of medieval craft guilds.
Thousands of years ago, the science of being able to build a large structure was one of the most guarded systems in the world. And so when we have the term Mason, it simply means stone mason, mathematician, someone who knows how to build palaces, cathedrals in Europe, which was seen as magic.
Masonic powers stemmed originally from this ability to construct majestic buildings. But over centuries, the network of Masonic connections became more important than the stonework.
You start to see some of the earliest and clearest references to Freemasonry in the early to mid 1600s. They met as an organization of people who had Enlightenment era values, particularly religious and political equality.
In the Revolutionary era, that Masonic network challenged the authority of kings, a dangerous game.
Well into the 1700s, if you ran afoul of the prevailing religious, civic, and aristocratic authorities, you could be arrested, you could even lose your life.
Secret societies of the Revolutionary era borrowed rituals from the ancient pagan world.
They wanted to conjure spirits. They wanted to prophesize by the stars. They wanted to mine the secrets of alchemy. But more than that, they also wanted to try to recreate some of the vanished temple orders that had given rise to these practices.
Secret societies and their rituals have continued in this country into our own era. More than a dozen presidents have been Freemasons, from Andrew Jackson to Gerald Ford.
When you go to Washington, D.C., you see the monuments, you see the grandeur, you see the American flag. That's the city we love, the city that supports freedom and liberty. But there's an encoded city in those hieroglyphs that tells another story, a story of occult power, a new Rome built in North America.
Jones says that secret society power surfaces even today in the political system.
I want to lead this world toward more peace and freedom.
Exhibit A in his argument, a secret society known as Skull and Bones, founded in 1832 at Yale University. The group came up in interviews with President George W. Bush and Senator John Kerry during the 2004 presidential election.
Here are two candidates running against each other, part of the same secret society, and they won't talk about it when they're on NBC.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
And what does George W. Bush say? The exact same thing.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are.
It's got presidents, it's got CIA directors, it's got some of the most elite people you can imagine in its alumni.
Skeptics call this a wildly distorted view of power.
Conspiracy theorists have a passion for making connections. It explains everything. It simplifies everything. If an individual looks out his window and sees a world racked with tragedy, accident, unexpected events, all he has to do is take a leaf from a conspiracy theory And suddenly, everything that had seemed complex before seems simple. And his fear and his anger now have a target, now have a place to go.
Yet could there be a grain of truth in the idea that secret societies exist today, conducting rituals and impacting our lives from the shadows? The search for answers leads to the best-known secret society of them all, an ancient order in plain sight in mainstream America. Do secret societies exist in America today? There is at least one. Its members can be found on any American main street. They are known as Freemasons.
The core of Masonry really is to help good men become better. We work on the man's relationship to his family and to society and to his spiritual being.
Oh, geez, now we're in trouble. Thanks for coming out, John.
Kirk Watley is a master Mason in Amherst, Massachusetts.
As a Mason, we have responsibilities to give back to society and to improve ourselves.
On a Saturday morning in Amherst, the members of the lodge are holding a pancake fundraiser to buy healthy snacks for kids in local schools. Masons around the country raise an estimated $2 million a day in charity.
What we do is we adopt local school systems, so the money we raise here stays local and goes to local kids in need.
Watley's Pacific Lodge has roughly 150 members, a tiny fraction of the estimated 2 million Masons all over the United States.
To become a Mason, the man must be 18 years old or older, be well recommended by someone who's already a Mason.
He must also believe in God. Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, it doesn't matter.
The belief in a supreme being in becoming a Mason is important because with each degree you take an obligation, and that obligation is taken upon the holy book of your particular religion. And there's those oaths that you will keep sacred and secret. If you do not believe in a supreme being, then those oaths and obligations that you take are functionally meaningless.
Masons rise in ranks known as degrees. For most Masons, the highest degree possible is the 32nd.
There is one rank above that, which is 33rd degree, which is a rank of privilege. And at that point, you're supposed to be somebody who has a really firm command of Masonic tradition, rites, and rituals.
No matter where they are, Masons seek each other out and help each other out.
When I travel, I have my Masonic Lodge pin on my lapel or on my identification badge, and I've met Masons from all over the world.
Historians say Masonic connections and principles played a decisive role in the founding of the United States.
Some of our very best civic values, religious liberty in particular, owe a certain debt to Freemasonic influence in the colonial age of this country.
James Wasserman owes his own debt. His secret society, the Ordo Templi Orientis, has deep roots in Freemasonry. He says in Washington, D.C., the positive contributions of this ancient order are written in stone.
The monuments and architecture of Washington, D.C. is meant to serve as a force of light to attract the greatest good for humanity.
The Naval Lodge in Washington, D.C. has been in existence for 2 centuries. In its lodge room, the most basic symbols of Freemasonry are on display.
The primary symbol is that letter G that stands for both God and geometry.
An even more important symbol may be the sunburst that surrounds the G.
God is the radiance. God is the center of the radiance, that solar symbol in which the G is enshrined.
That sunburst symbol appears again on the ceiling of one of the most hallowed institutions in the country, in the Great Hall of the Library of Congress. A poem in stone to the profound influence of Masonic principles on American government.
This is a true temple of liberty, of the Enlightenment. And in that sense, it is also a temple of Freemasonry.
For James Wasserman, the key to understanding the positive symbolic meaning of the entire city is the Washington Monument.
It is an Egyptian symbol of the obelisk, a symbol of that which is celebrated in Freemasonry. that union of human and divine.
Where Wasserman sees light, Jones sees darkness.
When we visit Washington, D.C., we're seeing two different cities. One with glistening white monuments that symbolize American power and liberty and freedom. But if you look closer, you see another city covered with occultic runes and symbols and hieroglyphs. It tells another story. It tells the story of an occult elite hell-bent on creating a new world government.
The new world order will fall.
Yet, is there any real evidence of this dark side to Freemasonry? Before a man can call himself a Mason, he must undergo a ritual passed down through generations. Active Masons refuse to discuss the details of those rituals.
About the initiation, I can't really divulge anything specifically about it. We take an obligation not to.
Now, a once high-ranking Mason is about to break with tradition and speak out for the first time.
I knew more about Freemasonry than most of the other men that I associated with. And it was only after I said, you know what, I know everything there is to know. I can no longer reconcile this with my religious beliefs. I finally left.
Most Americans who know anything about Masons see them as an all-American institution. Their buildings almost as familiar as churches. Their central symbol, the compass and square, in plain view.
We're kind of a fraternity that has some secrets. And that kind of makes it fun. You know, I mean, we're not a secret society. Here we are.
Yet, is there a darker side to Masonry? No one knows better than John Salsa, a rare high-ranking insider willing to speak out about his experience inside a secret society. He was a 32nd degree Mason.
I was an expert in Masonic ritual. I handled all of the ritual. I taught the other Masons how to do their job. My brother.
A devout Catholic, Salza left Masonry because he says it conflicted with his Catholic faith. In speaking openly about his experience, he is violating one of the most sacred oaths of the order, a self-curse.
The self-curse symbolizes self-mutilation and death. The death penalty that you would be worthy of incurring if you ever violated your Masonic oath. And in the entered apprentice degree, you swear that you would rather have your throat slit, your tongue torn out by its roots, and buried in the rough sands of the sea at low water mark, where the tide ebbs and flows twice in 24 hours.
If anyone understands the risk in coming forward, this man does.
Any Mason who swears to keep these things secret and leaves, I believe, will necessarily have some reservations. Number one, have I broken an oath that I'm bound to? And number two, will there be repercussions? Physical repercussions, in fact. Who was slain just before the completion of King Solomon's temple.
Salza became a Mason right out of law school. Friends who were Masons told him Masonic contacts would help his legal practice.
There were many attorneys, judges, bankers who were members of the lodge, and me as a young lawyer who was looking to start my career, this would be very beneficial to me.
On a given day, he is summoned to the lodge.
They take you into a small room, and they tell you to strip down. This is where you get a little bit nervous.
Salza tells himself it's just fraternity monkey business, but his anxiety increases as the ritual continues.
They asked me to take off my crucifix and my wedding ring. If this is an organization that claims to be encouraging a man to practice his own faith and live this good life as husband and father, why are they asking me to take off my crucifix, a reminder of my faith, and my wedding ring? A blindfold is placed on your eyes. You're in complete darkness. Masonry teaches that a blindfold represents your spiritual darkness. A noose is placed around your neck, and Masonry will explain that that cable tow around your neck represents your tie to the profane world.
No moment in Masonic ritual may be more frightening than what happens next to John Salza. Actual physical threat.
The ritual says, Mr. Salza, You are received on the instrument of torture, piercing your naked left flesh. So should the recollection of it be to your conscience, should you ever presume to reveal the secrets of Freemasonry.
James Wasserman says these ominous details make a serious point to the candidates.
They are faced with situations of danger, a kind of psychological manipulation in which they're shown their vulnerability.
This sets the tone right away. Your first encounter in the lodge room is being stuck with a knife or a compass, and it's to warn you that your conscience should feel the same torture should you ever reveal the secrets that you're about to learn.
Like all Masons, despite his reservations, Salza swears the oath of secrecy.
You say, I hereby solemnly and sincerely promise and swear effectively to give your entire life to Freemasonry, never to reveal the secrets, to live by Masonic principles, to give preferential treatment to brother Masons.
The self-curse seals that oath. A new Mason is born.
Well, this is what is happening. A man is at an altar, symbolically offering his blood at that altar, which then seals the covenant that he is now bound.
Salza says it's not just about exotic ritual, it's about power. 14 American presidents have been Masons, 5 in the last century alone.
President Truman is quoted as saying that the biggest honor that he had was to be a master of his Masonic lodge and not the President of the United States.
He says these Masonic connections directly impacted the lives of all Americans.
Uphold the doctrine that all men are equal in the sight of God.
The historical record shows that President Roosevelt, he was a high-ranking 33rd degree Mason. He appointed 9 Supreme Court justices. At least 6 were formal Masons. President Truman, who followed him, he was another high-ranking 33rd degree Mason. Truman also appointed 4 justices, all of whom were Freemasons. And Eisenhower, who followed him, appointed 3 more justices, both of whom were Masons. From 1941 to 71, the Supreme Court was dominated by Freemasons that eliminated prayer in schools. It was a Masonic Supreme Court that eliminated the 10 Commandments, eliminated Bible reading, that prohibited federal funding of parochial schools.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
He says Masonic intentions go much further.
When I took the 32nd degree of Freemasonry, it says that Freemasonry's goal and aim is to rule the world. That is what the ritual itself says.
Freemasons scoff at that notion.
The Masons are not out there for one world order. What we're out there to do is to provide relief and to distressed brothers, widows, and to society at large, and to improve ourselves. We've got too many projects to work on to take on something that big.
Is there another secret society today that impacts the lives of millions? Some believe there is.
We do not belong to you. We are not your slaves.
An international organization known for half a century as the Bilderberg Group. Secret societies are considered by many to be an unseen hand in history. But is there evidence they operate today, directly impacting our lives? Some say one organization inspires that sort of suspicion today. A shadowy entity known as the Bilderberg Group.
So the Bilderbergs came together in the early 1950s, and it was a group of European and American businessmen and political figures. The meetings were closed. There were some very, very wealthy people involved with the group.
Rogue journalist Alex Jones has spent years trying to prove that this modern-day secret society actually chooses world leaders from behind the scenes.
These powerful elite are actually engaged in kingmaker activity.
They're a complete disgrace to England.
Tony Blair comes from nowhere to become the Prime Minister of England a year and a half after he's invited to Bilderberg to be vetted.
Well, the truth is, this country is in trouble.
Bill Clinton, little-known governor from Arkansas. 1 year after he's at Bilderberg, boom, he's the president of the United States.
The American people have voted
and that story replicates itself over and over and over again.
His views are widely dismissed by the mainstream media, but he reports the truth as he sees it to millions on radio and in documentaries.
We're driving to the Westfield's Marriott. Tomorrow, the hotel's closed throughout the week into the weekend for the Bilderberg Group meeting. In 2008, I traveled to Chantilly, Virginia to cover the annual Bilderberg meeting.
Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are also in Virginia in their final stages of the contest to win the Democratic nomination when something unexpected happens.
I saw news reports of, no one knows where Obama is. No one knows where he's gone. He's disappeared.
Obama campaign press secretary Robert Gibbs releases a statement.
Senator Obama's not going to be in Washington for a little bit, and our schedule was running a little bit ahead of time, so we had some time for meetings that he wanted to do.
Gibbs admits to the press, I made the decision to lock you up on here and fly you to Chicago.
It wasn't an attempt to deceive in any way. It's just private meetings.
They literally shanghaied over 100 members of the press, telling them that Obama would be on a plane and lock the door.
Alex Jones claims to witness what happens next at the 51st annual gathering of the Bilderberg Group.
There's Secret Service driving in with machine guns, red and blue flashing lights. I mean, this is wild. Barack Obama was there. Hillary Clinton was there. The news is reporting, where's Obama, where's Hillary?
Today, as I suspend my campaign, I congratulate him.
And we're told in less than 12 hours that Hillary is going to now take a back seat.
And to help elect Barack Obama, the next president of the United States.
Jones calls this meeting nothing less than a coronation.
This isn't just like the president slipping off to go to a meeting with donors. This is world leaders meeting, setting policy behind closed doors.
Representatives of the Bilderberg Group deny that it is involved in king-making activity, but admit that its meetings have indirectly influenced world events.
You don't have to take the conspiratorial point of view to understand why an up-and-coming politician would go out of his way to meet with very powerful people. You don't have to be a conspiracist to find it a little bit creepy that these people meet in secret.
James Wasserman says the group has all the earmarks of a secret society, but one.
I would consider the Bilderberg Group to be a secret society. However, they are not burning candles, lighting incense, walking around in geometrical constructs like magical circles.
I've never seen or heard anything that speaks to the existence of rituals within the Bilderberg Group. I think it's complete fantasy.
Yet, if not at Bilderberg, is it still possible that today's most powerful people do engage in ceremonial rituals of power? A decade ago, Alex Jones set out to answer that very question. The place, a 2,700-acre private compound in Northern California, known as Bohemian Grove.
Don't be safe. Don't worry about it, Jones. Come on. Be careful.
We decided the best tactic would be to insert ourselves about a half mile from the main entrance into the heavily wooded area.
The Bohemian Club was founded in 1872 by wealthy California businessmen. There are no formal links between this society and the Bilderberg Group, but certain names suggest a common thread. The names of powerful men who are believed to have attended both. Gerald Ford, Henry Kissinger, Donald Rumsfeld, Colin Powell, David Rockefeller.
Well, we're inside the Bohemian Grove. We're in the parking lot.
Jones says his cameras witnessed firsthand an event that can only be described as a ritual of power.
When I snuck into Bohemian Grove back in 2000, where presidents and prime ministers the world over go, it was reported that at dusk on July 15th every year, they had this big stone idol. They did a mock sacrifice of a child to it. And I was thinking, this isn't true. I'm going to prove to everybody this isn't happening.
When will ye learn that me ye cannot slay?
And sitting there watching it, it seems silly until you look at the men around you. and they are in religious ecstasy. They believe they're taking part in something of extreme power.
I spit upon your fire.
Skeptics say such rituals don't have anything to do with real power.
That's not where it exists, but it's more thrilling and it's more entertaining to think that it does.
Conspiracy theory always comes down to a story, and it's usually the same story. That there's a secret group of people that want to destroy sovereignty and impose world government.
At the heart of most stories about secret societies today, there is always a ritual.
The concept of ritual is the identification with power. In ritual, when one identifies with the divine, man becomes God.
In a new memoir, James Wasserman writes openly about his decades as a leader of the secret society known as the Ordo Templi Orientis, or OTO. Masons refused to allow cameras to film their rituals, but Wasserman and several other members of the OTO have decided to allow one of their secret rituals to be filmed for the first time in their history. The ritual is known as the Liber Yisrafel, the invocation of an ancient supernatural power.
I can tell you for a fact that no magical group, to my knowledge, has ever done anything like this before. What we're going to attempt to do is literally bring a god into the middle of our group.
The 100-year-old order known as the Ordo Templi Orientis is about to perform an authentic ritual of power, proof that secret societies and their ceremonies aren't just a thing of the past. The ritual is known as the Liber Yisrafel, and until now, it has never been seen by outsiders.
What I'm attempting to do is to lose my consciousness and turn it over to a higher force that I believe in. I also believe that if I violate his rules, the consequences would be unimaginable.
Rituals are seen by many as the key to understanding the true nature of secret societies today. To some, the goals of those rituals may appear sinister, even demonic.
It's the human mind trying to experience and imagine what else is out there and to break through to the other side. That's what these occult groups are doing. And it's the raw seeking of power.
Wasserman says the OTO and its ritual are a force for good.
If someone interprets this ritual to be an example of an invocation of a dark force, they are simply mistaken. This is an invocation of the light.
The Ordo Templi Orientis traces its roots back to Freemasonry.
It was originally composed exclusively of Freemasons, people who held a deeply inquisitive nature into the philosophical roots of man, God, and the universe.
Yet one man, more than any other, shaped today's OTO.
Aleister Crowley, the Beast, as he was called by his supporters, the most evil man alive.
There was no one else quite like him in modern life. He was a brilliant artist, intellect, and seeker. He would engage in everything from revivals of rituals that occurred in old temple orders to new forms of what was sometimes called sex magic, in which the sexual act, the act of climax, was itself used as a kind of magical ceremony to enhance the individual's will and power.
The OTO's belief system centers on one controversial sentence.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Aleister Crowley called this the most sublimely austere ethical precept ever uttered to human beings. We are stars with an orbit unique to ourselves.
What did he say? Do as thou wilt is the whole law. Do whatever you want. okay, do whatever you want to anybody around you because you're going to get power out of it. It's going to be great. No, actually what you get is the end of civilization.
Daniel Panetta is a member of the OTO who will take part in the ritual.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law is really an instruction to find who you really are, find out your true purpose, and then to do that purpose.
The moment has come. As they gather for the first time on television to conduct the ritual known as Liber Yisrafel, these members of the OTO are making history, bringing to light what was meant to be hidden.
This ritual may appear alien to some people, exotic, strange, even dangerous. This is why no other groups have allowed the public into their rituals.
4 invocations lead up to the moment when that extraordinary power will be called into the room. First, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Next, a young woman begins the ritual known as the Star Ruby. Now, the breathing exercises that pave the way for the appearance of the God of Power. The 4th invocation is known as the Liber Reguli, an introduction to the god Tahuti, who is about to make an appearance.
Lashtau, Selima, Fiaof, Agape.
Now, that power is about to descend. Do secret societies and their rituals influence our lives today from behind the scenes? A ritual of power performed for the first time on television by the Ordo Templi Orientis may finally answer that question.
The initial point of power in the ritual is the identification of human with divine. It's the identification of temporal consciousness with eternal consciousness.
In this case, the power goes by the name Tahuti, a spirit identified with the Egyptian god Horus and the Greek god Mercury.
I invoke Tahuti, the Lord of wisdom and of utterance. When I invoke Tahuti, I am invoking the power of speaking truth. Thou who bearest in thy left hand the rose and cross of life and light, thee I invoke. I am invoking these things to the end of bringing forth the healing and liberation of the human spirit. Come thou forth, I say, come thou forth, and make all spirits subject unto me.
In the final moments of the ritual, a second figure appears, this time a woman.
I make open the gates of bliss. I descend from the palace of the stars. I greet you. I embrace you, O children of earth that are gathered together in the hall of darkness.
One final line sums up the belief at the heart of this secret ritual.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt.
Thousands of years ago, ancient priesthoods met in secret to summon power into their midst through ritual. Through the centuries, those rituals survived to form the heart of secret societies that still exist in our own time. Yet what is the true nature of that power? Alex Jones believes he knows.
Some will say, hey, it's just New Age, it's goofy, people are having fun. It's just the height of denial.
Let the silence of darkness be broken. Let it return unto the silence of light.
If you want to understand the darker aspects of secret societies, all you need to do is look in the mirror in the darker aspects of all of us individually. There's always an element in society who is attracted to power so that they can build the world in the image that is attractive to them.
There are evil magicians invoking evil forces. That's a truth. Our rituals, on the other hand, are designed to invoke forces of illumination, forces of light. There is a power in this ritual that is capable of changing the world for the better.
For Jones, all secret power today remains a threat.
Two worlds, one hidden, one public. The mass of the public asleep, unaware. That's why the elite seeks to keep the general population in the dark. Because when you've got the light, you're in charge.
Skeptics insist that's an extreme distortion of how power really works.
That's a fantasy. No one need worry that the majority of decisions are being made by corrupt people solely to wreak havoc on our system.
Extreme ideas about power may have their own dark side.
That kind of thinking can go to a very dark place very quickly.
We know you are evil. And
it creates an us versus them mentality.
In the end, the only real evidence of the existence of secret societies may lie in the rituals.
Getting all this stuff on camera is vital to people being able to make up their own minds about secret societies, about occultism in general. That's your right. But let it be because you see the truth, not because of some kind of a distortion.
Beyond the ritual, the truth about the real power and nature of secret societies will remain a question mark.
The real secrets, per se, are incommunicable. It's impossible for me to share the depth of my understanding within my heart.
The final secrets remain hidden.